Hi, it's Leslie Fightmaster, and welcome to day 24. We're going to start sitting today. So bring your hands together in front of your heart and take a moment to set your intention for your practice. As always, all intentions are always welcome, or you could dedicate your practice to somebody if you like. We're going to roll down onto our backs, bending the knees, take the feet hips distance apart, heels underneath the knees, arms by your sides. As you inhale, lift your hips, your low back and mid back, and maybe your upper back. As you exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time. Make sure your feet stay parallel as you inhale. And to lift up, spiral your thighs down. And then exhale, slowly lowering into in and out of bridge. Once more. We'll inhale, lift your hip bones up towards your lower ribs, and then lift all the way up slowly. And then exhale, lower back down. Now we'll add our arms. So as you inhale and lift up, reach up and over. Have your palms face each other. On the exhale, lower back down slowly. And again, inhale, lift up, reach your tailbone toward the backs of the knees, and exhale, lowering back down. And last one, press to the heels, inhale and lift. Keep the chin away from the chest, but lift the chest up toward the chin, and exhale, lower down. And now roll off to your right side. And we'll come up slowly, press your left hand into the floor, let the head come up last. And then rolling forward. We'll make our way onto the hands and the knees. And then walk your hands in front of the shoulders and reach back into child's pose. Utthita Balasana. Keep the hands where they are and then come up, tuck the toes. Keep the knees bent for down dog. And now reach your right heel down and then your left. So we'll bicycle the legs as we start to stretch out the hamstrings. So remember, in downward facing dog, we want to get as much length through the spine as we can. So if we have tight hamstrings, it's even a little better to keep the knees bent for a little while. Bending the knees again, stretch out the spine, and then reach the heels down any amount. They never have to touch. Spread the fingers wide. And so that's me moving forward to show you it's better to keep the knees bent so you can get a lot of space in your spine and lengthen it out. As you spread your fingers wide, press into the base of your fingers and lift your forearms away from the mat. Inhale to float the right leg back and up. We'll lift it from the inner thigh. Exhale, step it up by the right hand. So you'll pick it up and put it there if you need to. Take the left knee down to the floor. Keep the back toes tucked under, and we'll come into a low lunge. So inhale, pull the right hip back as you sink your hips forward any amount, and then reach through the arms. Spin your triceps forward, lengthen through all four sides of your waist, but keep lifting the hip bones toward the lower ribs. As you exhale, we're making a big circle with the arms. So inhale, arms reach, face the palms forward, exhale, circle around. One more time. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale and circle the arms. Take the hands on either side of your front foot and step back into plank pose. Take the knees down, shift forward about an inch, lower slowly to the floor. Untuck the toes, interlace your fingers at your lower back. Press all the toenails down and inhale for Shalabhasana variation. Keep the feet on the floor, inner thighs spin up, tailbone reaches to heels, and keep the back of your neck long. And then slowly, hands by the ribs. Press up to the knees, then tuck your toes, making your way back into downward dog. Inhale the left leg back and up from the inner thigh so the hips are level. As you exhale, step it up by the left hand and bring your right knee to the floor. Keep the back toes tucked under. And then we'll come back into our low lunge. So reaching up, this time pulling the left hip back. Draw the low belly in, tailbone down, and hip bones lift up toward the lower ribs. Try to make that space smaller. Stretch up tall, Reach through the arms, arrow straight arms, but let the shoulder blades release away from the ears. As you sink your hips, exhale, swing your arms back and all the way around in a circle. Inhale, lengthen the arms. Exhale, face the palms to the front, big circle around. Once more. Inhale, reach tall. And exhale, circling around. And bring the hands down. And again, we'll step to plank. Now knees can be up or down here. I'm going to lower all the way to the belly, hugging the elbows in as you exhale. Interlace the fingers at the low back or hook the thumbs. Take the non-dominant interlace and inhale, lift Shalabhasana. This time, add the legs. As you lift the legs, lift them from the inner thighs and draw the shoulder blades toward the waist as you keep lifting your belly. And then hands by low ribs. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. If you come into up dog, thighs and knees off the floor, tuck your toes and lift your hips for downward facing dog, all the way back. Arms are shoulders distance and the feet hips width. Come back to your steady breathing and take a moment to come back to your intention. Looking forward, lightly step your feet up. Inhale, hands to shins and lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold, bending the knees as needed. Inhale, press down through the feet, sweep the arms out, around and up, and look up. And then exhale the hands to the heart. Samastitihi. Finding Tadasana at the front of the mat. Press evenly through the feet. As you press down through the base of the big toes and little toes, inner outer heels, lift your inner arches of the feet. Inhale, sweep the arms up and look up if it's okay with your neck. Exhale, hinging from the hips, fold forward, keeping the spine nice and long. Inhale, come halfway up and lengthen. Exhale, step back into plank. And chaturanga, knees can be up or down. Inhaling, upward dog or cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, and stretch all the way back. Breathing here, keeping the inhales and exhales equal. Draw the low belly in and up. Spin the inner thighs back as your heels reach down. Take 2 more breaths. And exhaling, inhale. Exhale it out, bend the knees, look up, step your feet forward. Inhale, come halfway up, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, fold in. Press down through the feet and rise all the way up. Utthita Hasta in Tadasana, and then exhale the hands to Samastitihi, which just means steady balance. Inhale again, sweep your arms up. Exhale, folding in. On the inhale, lengthen, look up. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step back into plank. Take the knees down if you wish. Lower chaturanga, shoulders no lower than the elbows. Inhale, taking your back bend of choice, and then exhale, stretch all the way back for downward dog. Keep your gaze between your knees or your feet, arms and ears in line. If you keep one gazing point, it helps us to keep our focus. And remember your ujjayi breathing. Look forward, step or hop your feet to the front. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine, and then exhale, folding in. Press down to rise up as you inhale, and then exhale, Samastitihi. We're going to find a little balance here and start to take the weight onto the left foot as you lift your right foot into tree. So take the right foot anywhere above or below your knee. Reach up nice and tall. Try and drop the right hip down. And then start to bend your elbows. Touch your palms toward your upper back. And instead of letting your elbows splay out to the sides, spin the triceps forward and point the elbows straight up. Draw the left hip in towards center to help with balance. And now inhale the legs straight out in front of you. Keep the shoulders above the hips. And then slowly we'll release it. Shift the weight to the right foot and pick up the left foot into tree. So again, anywhere above or below the knee. Draw the right hip in towards center. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Face your palms behind you. And then bend the elbows. And again, try and draw those elbows straight up as the triceps spin forward. Instead of let them go out, don't let them go out like that. And press the foot into the leg and press the leg back into the foot for stability. Keep one steady gazing point to help with your balance. And point the knee to the front. Inhale, lift it up. Keep dropping the left hip down. And then slowly release. If you come out of your balance poses, don't ever worry about it. Just come back in. Do your best. Back to Samastitihi. I fall out of my balance poses all the time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, look up, lengthen. And then exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, going to plank. Knees up or down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. It's always your choice. And exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg lifts from the inner thigh. And then let's bend the knee and open up the hip this time. Press evenly through the arms and the shoulders. Now square off the hips again so we can feel the difference. So you can lift it and feel what it feels like to square the hips. Most of the time we want the hips square. Step the foot between the hands. Inhale, warrior two. Be sure your front heel lines up with your back arch. So heel to arch alignment. Reach out through the arms. The front hip's dropping down. Now shift your weight into your back leg. So bend the back knee, shift your weight back there. Keep a nice grounded feeling through that back leg as you rebend your front knee. And then interlace your fingers behind your back or hook the thumbs. Inhale, look up, lengthen. And exhale, folding in. It's a nice shoulder opener. Crown of the head is reaching down. We're moving toward Urdhva Dhanurasana or upward facing bow pose, or many times called wheel pose. Inhale, come on up. And then reach your arms out again. Reverse your warrior. Exhale, bend into the front knee and now straighten it. Keep reversing. Then come on up on your inhale. Hinge from your front hip crease. Reach forward and down for triangle pose, Trikonasana. I have my blocks. I always have my blocks and my strap handy, and if you have them, it's always nice to keep them handy. You never know when you want to use them. I love to use props. Exhale, reach the left arm forward, and then sweep the arm down and behind you. So this is a half wrap. You can keep the hand at the low back, or you can reach it around and hook the hand on the right thigh. Roll the top shoulder open and back, widening the collarbones. Now looking down, I'm going to just take the hands on either side of the front foot and make your way back to plank. Now we're moving through vinyasa. Feel free to skip it and go right into downward facing dog. So yes, I love to use props. I used to think that props were for wimps. Inhale, lift the left leg, bend the knee, open up the hip. Now I feel strongly the other way. Gotta use those props. Square off the hips. It helps us to access the poses better with better alignment. So hips squared, drop the outer hip down, look forward, step the left foot between the hands, spinning the back heel flat. Come on up on your inhale for warrior two. Again, make sure your feet are lined up, front heel and back arch. Draw in through the lower belly. Back inner thigh lifts up. And then gaze over the fingertips. Lift the chest, soften the shoulders. Now bend the back knee and shift weight into that right leg. Keep that feeling of shifting the weight there, and then slowly begin to bend the left knee. Your pose might feel a little bit different. To me, there's less weight in the front leg, which is nice. And then interlace other pinky on top or other thumb. Inhale, widen the collarbones, look up. Exhale and fold. Crown of the head is reaching toward the floor, any amount. Press through that back leg, so keep pressing the outer edge of the back foot and still pressing into your front heel. Inhale to come up. Release the arms. And now we'll reverse the warrior. Drop the right arm, reverse. Bend into the left knee for a moment, and then next inhale, straighten the left leg. Reverse triangle pose. Inhale, come on up, arms to a T. Shift your hips back and lean forward, hinging from the hip crease. Left hand down, right arm up. Feel free to use your block on the pinky toe side of the foot, any height. And if that's too hard, you can always use it on the big toe side, but pinky toe side's nice. Reach your right arm forward in line with the ear, and then sweep it behind you for your half wrap, either to the low back or hook it to the left thigh. So the pinky toe side is nice because you can lean your torso back over your front thigh, and you can move that front hip under you easier. Then press extra weight into the base of the big toe of your left foot. So when you're leaning the torso back, the weight wants to go to the pinky toe side. Look down to the floor and frame the front foot. Pick up the back heel and step back to plank. Lower down chaturanga. Inhaling upward dog. And exhaling down dog. Remember, push pause, take a child's pose anytime you would like to take a break. It's always an option. Now look forward, bend the knees, and step or hop up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold forward into Uttanasana. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And then exhale the hands back to the heart, back to Tadasana. The feet about hips distance apart. As you inhale, we'll bend the knees and come into Utkatasana chair. So watch that your lower back doesn't overarch. Drop your tailbone down. Then lifting your left leg up, step it back and find high lunge crescent pose. Take a moment to get real solid here. Make sure the right knee is over the ankle. And then bend that back knee a little bit on the inhale. Exhale, straighten it. Bend the knee, inhale any amount as long as it doesn't bother your knee. Exhale, straighten it, but try not to move up and down. Inhale, bend the knee, so it's just a bend of the knee and then a straightening of it. Reach up nice and tall. One more time, bend the knee. This time, drop the tailbone down, pull the belly and lift the hip bones up, and then straighten the leg once again. Exhale the hands down and step back to plank pose and chaturanga, or again, you can skip it and go to down dog. Inhaling up and exhaling back. Adding more chaturangas as we continue on our journeys helps to build our strength and stamina, but you don't have to do them all. Look forward, step or hop up. Inhale, look up, lengthen the spine, and exhale to fold. Bend the knees into Utkatasana, weight is in the heels. Then start to shift the weight to the left foot and pick your right foot up off the floor. Keep a nice steady gaze. So I picked up my wrong foot, so I'm going to fix it in a second. If you want to join me with the wrong foot, you're welcome to, but you don't have to. So right foot will pick up, and then start to slowly step it back until you're in crescent with the left knee over the ankle. Draw the left hip back, tailbone down, and then as you inhale, bend the back knee any amount. Exhale, straighten it out. You can have hands on your hips. It's a little easier. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, straighten it. So again, as much as you can, isolate the movement in the knee. Bend the knee, straighten the leg, and bend the knee once more. Tailbone down, hip bones lift, draw the belly in. Keep that, straighten the leg. Reach the arms up on the inhale. Draw the ribs and belly in, and then exhale, bring the hands down and step back to downward facing dog. If you would love to take a vinyasa, please come forward in a plank on your inhale. Chaturanga as you exhale. Inhale, upward facing dog, and exhale to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, lift the right leg. Exhale, step up by the right hand, take the left knee to the floor. We'll come back into our low lunge. Pull the right hip back and sink your hips forward. This time we'll reach back for the left foot. Maybe you can reach it. You could also use a strap around the foot. If you have any room to take it deeper, you bring the hand behind the foot. So the palm touches the top of the foot and draw it forward as you sink your hips forward a little bit more. Draw the right hip back so we try to square up the hips and the shoulders toward the front of our mats. This one can be pretty intense on the leg and the hip flexor. Step back into plank, chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, open up the front of the body. Exhale, stretch out the spine. Left leg floats up, inhale from the inner thigh, hips level. Exhale, lightly step it up. And now take the right knee to the floor. Inhale, we'll come on up into our low lunge, making sure that left knee does not go past the ankle as we sink our hips forward. Keep pulling the left hip back. Inhaling, arms reach. Exhale, left forearm to left thigh, reach back for the right foot. And you can hold it back there or take it with a strap. Or you can take the palm to the back of the foot and reach the elbow up toward the ceiling so you can draw it in. Square up the hips and the shoulders again to the front. This is an intense stretch, usually in the thigh and the hip flexor. So if you're tight there, you should know that now probably. If it bothers your knee that's on the floor, please pad up that knee. Come back to plank, lower chaturanga. Inhale, press up through the hands and feet. And exhale, stretch back into down dog. And now look forward. We're going to come right onto the knees. Grab a block if you have it. If you don't, you can sit back on your heels. If you have the block, put the block in between your heels. Make sure your knees don't go wider than the hips. This is Virasana, or if you're sitting on the heels, it's Vajrasana. Take your hands behind you, lean back. You might already feel a stretch and you can stay, or lift the hips off that block, perhaps letting the head go back. Watch for wide knees. We want to keep those knees hips width apart, as if you're holding a block between the inner thighs. And then come on down and rest a moment. So we did a lot of work to open up the shoulders. Now we're doing work to open up the hip flexors and fronts of thighs. Bring the hands back again, lifting up, same thing. Or if you want to go deeper, you can come onto your forearms, stay there, or maybe lift up off the block from the forearms. And that should get in there. So the hip bones are still lifting toward the lower ribs, tailbones still reaching toward the backs of the knees. And then come on up and move the block out of the way. And just stretch back again into down dog. Feel free to take a vinyasa. And inhale to plank and lower all the way down. If you took the vinyasa, come all the way down to your belly. Bend the knees. Knees no wider than hips. Take the pinky toe sides of your feet, if you can reach them. Inhale, lift into Dhanurasana. So lift the feet up and press them back. If you can't reach the feet, you can take locust pose instead. Just keep the arms by your sides and lift everything up. And then we'll release. Hands by the low ribs. Press up as you inhale. Tuck the toes, stretch back as you exhale. And then come on to seated. So if you have a block, again, grab it. I'm going to come onto our backs for bridge pose. This time, we'll hold the block between the inner thighs. Feet are hips distance apart. If you don't have a block, you can pretend like you're holding one and come up. Or you can roll up a towel. That works. Roll the shoulders under, maybe interlacing fingers. So back bend is really a front opening. So think about creating length in the front of the body by stretching out the spine. So the tailbone reaches to the backs of the knees. And the hip bones lift up toward the low ribs. Widen through the collarbones. Our shoulder blades will move forward toward the chest. Keep your nice steady gaze. Make sure those toes don't turn out to the sides. They want to. And then come on down. So Urdhva Dhanurasana, full upward facing bow pose. You don't ever have to do it, but I thought I would include it just in case. Hands up by the ears, the fingertips will face the heels. We're going to press up. Watch that the elbows don't go out to the sides. That's important. We're going to press first to the crown of the head, then line up your wrists and your elbows. Make sure the elbows are still parallel. Don't let them go out. And then press down to lift up. And just let your arms and ears stay about in the same line. Spiral your thighs in toward each other like you still have that block that you're holding. And again, try and create lots of space in your back. Chin to chest to come on down. Now, if you're having trouble pressing up, let's take the soles of feet together, knees apart. If you're having trouble pressing up or you can't get your elbows to stay parallel, I'm going to show you the the strap around the elbows. So grab a yoga strap, or you can use anything you have around, a belt or tie, and you can tie it. Take the block between the inner thighs if you have the block, and then the strap goes right above the elbow. Now the strap actually needs to go tighter than you think it should. My strap was too loose this time, because the strap should keep the elbows from going out. But pressing again to the crown of the head and then lifting up. Spiral the thighs in. Outer edges of the feet stay parallel. Breathe. Definitely long breaths. Chin to chest and come on down. So I'm going to try and tighten my strap once more. So if you're not taking wheel, you can take bridge poses. You can hang out in bridge, or if you have a block, you can put it at the base of the spine for supported bridge. And then we'll take one last one. So arms by the ears. Got to move the hair out of the way. If you ever put your hands on your hair and go up, it's like, rip a bunch of hair out. Come to the crown of the head. Line up wrists and elbows. Make sure elbows are parallel. And then press up. So again, that strap helps to hold the elbows from splaying out so that you can get that nice tricep spinning away from the face. And then come on down and take off the strap if it's there. Remove the block. And then hug your knees into your chest. And either stay static or rock side to side or make little circles on your lower back, whatever feels nice. And now start to rock yourself back and forth, up and down the spine. Coming up to Dandasana staff pose. So remember, you can always sit up on a blanket or a block to lengthen the spine. Pull your toes back. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hinge from your hips forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. And exhale to extend. So use a strap if it's hard to reach your feet. Straps come in handy because we can keep the back long. We don't need to round the back to get down low. Doesn't really matter. As long as you feel a stretch, that's the important part. Steady breathing. Maybe as you exhale, you might come a little deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to release. Bend your right knee. Right sole of the foot on the floor, bring the right hand behind you. Left arm up, inhale, get nice and tall. And exhale, hook it across. As you inhale, create length through your spine. As you exhale, roll the right shoulder back. And every inhale, see if you can lengthen. Every exhale, maybe twisting. Head to center, release. Left knee bends, left foot on the floor, left hand behind. Inhale, get really tall first, and then exhale, twist. It's always important to lengthen the spine as much as we can before we twist. And also remember, use your internal muscles to twist you first, and then you can use that arm against the leg to help it. Bring the head to center and unwind. Make our way back down and happy baby pose. Take the pinky toe sides of the feet. Keep the tailbone reaching toward the floor. And now we'll start to get comfortable into our final resting pose, Savasana. Let your feet flop open, arms by your sides, your palms up. If your low back feels at all uncomfortable here, roll up a blanket or a towel and put it under your knees. That would feel good. And then relax. I'll be back in a moment. As you're resting, Louise Driscoll brings our quote today. Within your heart, keep one still, secret spot where dreams may go, and, sheltered so, may thrive and grow, where doubt and fear are not. Oh, keep a place apart within your heart for little dreams to go. I'm a big believer in dreams, and I'm a big believer if it is your passion, you must do it. You must give it as much as you can. Give it your best shot. Make movements in your fingers and toes and stretch out through your arms and your legs. Bend the knees, roll yourself off to your right side, and pause a moment for gratitude for so many blessings. And slowly make your way up to seated. Sitting tall, bring the hands together in front of the heart. Close your eyes. Hands to the forehead, reminding us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to heart center, reminding us to have clear and loving intentions. And bring the hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communications, sending out positive energy to all beings everywhere. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. Can't believe how close we're getting to the end. Don't forget to subscribe today if you haven't, and share these classes with your friends and relatives and neighbors and I don't know, anyone. Everyone can benefit from a little yoga. And share on Facebook. Oh, social media sharing, that is really, really good too. Visit fightmasteryoga.com and join our mailing list. Oh, I have a yoga retreat coming up in Cancun, off the coast of Cancun. Women only, this one, March 5th through the 10th. My email address is below. If you are interested in information, please email me. And most importantly, oh, before we go, there's Indy, my older son, and there he goes. Bye-bye.